Hey everybody, welcome back. I am the Gerbil, and this is viewer question episode 2, a weekly show I'm trying to get out on Sundays, but I spent the entire day at Disney yesterday with my family, so apologies, it's coming out a little bit later, but hey, it's probably still Sunday for some of you. Anyway, so in this vid, I want to talk about 3 things. Content creator infallibility, which I know is not a viewer question, the results of your recent votes on my You Choose Discord channel, and of course the viewer questions. I've got a bunch of them, and some of them are really awesome, and they're going to stretch beyond, I would say, my areas of comfort in SWGOH, which brings us directly to that first item of infallibility. So here's the thing, when I first started making my channel vids, I was like honestly just out trolling a bit, just having a lot of fun with the game, posting some bizarre achievements in there, making fun of the meta, but eventually I kind of graduated into actually making videos I think might try to help people, because I am, in my heart, a teacher, which brings up a pet peeve of mine, which is when a teacher acts like they know everything, and that is something that I have been guilty of both on this channel and in the classroom in the past, but it has been a conscious choice of mine for well over a decade now, that when a student asks a question I don't know, to be honest with them and say, I don't know, but let's try and find out together. I think that recognition of not knowing is monumentally important in education, as well as being a leader of people. I do not fancy myself a leader of people, but you're here watching this channel because you either enjoy me or you enjoy the feedback, content, advice I give. So to that, I want to stress that I am not the end-all, be-all, know-it-all of Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, nor is any content creator on YouTube or anywhere else out there. There are a lot of amazingly smart people. I mean, really there are, from Bit Dynasty, Scribe, Sanjita, Calvin Awesome, and on and on and on, Zareth. We have a long line of content creators, and they are all very smart people, but none of us know everything. So as you watch this video and you see my questions and my answers, or the questions you asked and the answers I'm giving, keep that in mind, that this is my experience, my opinions based on those experiences, and my advice as I understand the game, but I am still learning often from you. So thank you very much for your feedback. All right, let's get started to the vote, shall we? Vote. So on Discord, I asked last week, I said, I love my murder bears, should I Relic 9 the full squad? Yeah, right. I mean, why? Because I love Ewoks. With Nissa Omicron, I really want to see what they're capable of, and they're doing a lot. I just got a message back from my GAC opponent who said that I put Sharper and Nissa Wicket on defense with I don't remember which Datacron, and they got 3 holds, and my GAC opponent was like, wow, I threw some incredibly strong teams at that. They will hold pretty well against Jedi Master Luke, for example. They're doing pretty good, but what's the argument for not relicking 9 them? Duh, there are better places to spend the resources. I'm not oblivious to that. So anyway, you all voted 24 yeses, 19 no's. So the result is I am going to Relic 9 all of my Ewok, or at least the core 5 in the squad here. Yeah, I don't put Poplu in that squad, actually. It's very, I'm debating if he's going to be a Relic 9 or if it's going to be a Logray. So I'm not too sure. Anyway, so your vote matters. I'm going to do it. Thank you for the feedback. This is going to be fun. Who do I Relic 9 first? Where do I go? Well, at SWGOH.GG, you can see these are the Relic 9s in the world. There are only 5 Nissas. Yep, 58 Wickets, who I think still will be on Leia's squad, so not a bad choice there. So the Relic 9 boosts aren't really going to do a whole lot for this squad, as they don't do for almost anybody except for tanks, to be honest. And I don't have Poplu in there. But lo and behold, I'm going to go the road less traveled as I normally do. Nissa has the fewest Relic 9s in the world, so there she is, ladies and gentlemen. Drum roll. Relic 9 Nissa. Yee! Yep, nub. Yeah, I just want to bust out into Ewok song. But as it turns out, I have enough Relic materials actually to go ahead and do it twice on day 1. So here we go. Relic 9, Wicket for the win, I hope. Yeah, I am confident Wicket will be on the GL Leia team. I am 100% confirmation bias inside of me. I admit that. Someone pointed it out to me in the YouTube comments and said, confirmation bias. And I'm like, yeah, confirmation bias indeed. Yeah, but Wicket's going to be on Leia's team. I have no doubt of that. So I don't think this is a bad Relic 9 no matter what. So there we are. We now have at least 6 Nissas and 59 Wickets. So I went for the most and least in the world, and honestly, they get the least out of it. Poplu would have got the most, but then Elder and Sherpa also would have benefited substantially in terms of health and longevity, which is what the team really is all about. All right, let's get to your questions, shall we? So, question 1, is Dash, Han, Chewie, Quill, and IG a good team? And if so, how to mod them? And the answer is, for me, I have no idea, actually. I really don't think that this is the team to go. I guess it really depends on your phase and stage in the game. But, you know, Dash is an amazing leader who everyone fell in love with when he came out with. I mean, his opening AoE is pretty debilitating, but it's really been surpassed by Rex's opening AoE. There's always a new AoE, right? I think that I think it is a good team. The benefit is that a lot of people underestimate it because they're like, oh, that's not CLS, they don't have C3PO, and they underestimate it. And IG can be stupidly thick and hard to get past. But the reality is you're not going to get nearly as much utility out of this as you would a CLS team, especially if you're choosing one or the other. See, CLS is going to be able to get you the challenge tier 2, 1, 2, 3 on the military might on not full automatic, but on full brain automatic. You just spam that special on the assault battle, and then you're going to get all those rewards every month. Whereas this team, you're going to put it in GAC, and that's about it. So I don't think that this is an optimal team for those characters. Now, how to mod them, this is my thinking in terms of how to mod, and it's also kind of pulled a bit off of SWGOH.GG. I think that the focus, though, is tenacity on Chewie and just pure straight health on IG. Now, how are you going to mod Han? I prefer crit damage and potency so that he lands a stun and turn meter reductions on his basic, but there's a lot of argument and debate on that one. So there you go. That's my thought. All right, number 2. Which 3 Inquisitors was it you said go well with Palpatine Vader? So this is really talking about kind of early game when you're just starting out, like in the sub 1, maybe 1.5, 2 million GP range. Honestly, a little bit beyond depending on your farming direction. But if you don't have a really fleshed out Empire team yet, if you want to go Inquisitors early game, then this is the 5 I really, really recommend. Palpatine lead, Vader, and then you go 5th brother, 7th sister, 9th sister. The reason is because obviously 9th sister is a phenomenal dark side tank who's plug and play just all over the place. She's super, super good. 5th brother has a fantastic AoE dispel, applies speed down. 7th sister is a healer to keep them going. She applies ability block, she removes the enemy turn meter, and she assists every time those Inquisitors take a turn. Now, this also is really, really, really effective with Palpatine's lead because she's going to give them potency up, health up, which is going to keep 9th sister alive a lot. And then it says Empire allies inflict a debuff during their turn. Anytime they do during their turn, they gain 20% turn meter. And then when a Sith ally inflicts a debuff during their turn, they recover 20% health. So 9th sister is going to heal, and they're going to get a lot of turn meter. For example, 5th brother, the kill is mine. It's an AoE. It inflicts a stack of purge, so there's 20% turn meter. If the enemy already had purge, it inflicts expose. There's 20% turn meter. Grant all allies potency up, which makes Vader more potent, I guess, as well as Palpatine. But it also applies defense down. So there's another 20%. Anyway, I don't remember. Actually, it inflicts purge on everybody. So forget all that. That's just flat out 100%. So you do the AoE, you immediately take another turn. You do the basic, and it applies like 2 or 3 debuffs, and then Seven Sisters assisting both times, and it just ramps. And this team can get a turn meter train rolling that is just disgusting, especially because when under Palpatine's lead, when those debuffs expire, they gain more turn meters. So you're just constantly applying and then consuming those purge stacks and other things. So between the patient mechanic and the Inquisitor kids, the leadership, I've had my fifth brother honestly take like 7, 8, 9 turns consecutively. It's just the weirdest thing, but it's a lot of fun. All right, next question. Debating if I should R9 Kanan Jarrus or Relic 8 Chopper next. My answer is Kanan Jarrus. Again, this is not the best place by far to put a Relic 9 resource, especially given that I just Relic 9'd Wicket and Nissa. I'm not entirely sure that my advice is the best here, but between those two, Kanan is by far going to get the bigger benefit, being that he is a tank, and his unique says that whenever he takes a debuff, he's going to recover 25% health. So somebody in my Discord posted that they had like 160,000 health on Kanan, Relic 9, which means every debuff that is inflicted on him, he's regaining, what is it going to be, 40,000 health just for being debuffed. I mean, 40,000 health per debuff. That's going to make him really, really challenging to beat, especially if you put him on a Rex squad, which I see you have Rex right there. So yeah, I would go with Kanan. Chopper is a staple for the squad. I mean, I love my Chopper. I would love to Relic 9 my Phoenix squad next, but that's not this calendar year. Next question. How do you split Ewoks in threes? I typically done Chirpa, Wicket, Elder, which I really like that one, and then Teebo, Poplo, Logray, which I really like that one. Curious how I do it with Nissa now. So in the 3v3 GAC, I'm getting a lot of holds, I feel. Definitely got 3 last round alone, or 3 battles, 2 holds I think, with Chirpa, Nissa, Wicket. See, Wicket has a small heal ability. Nissa has a heal ability. Chirpa has a heal ability, and yet you have 2 attackers in there, and then you get the Chirpacron Omicron on top of that, and they're going to be assisting and attacking on a turn, going into stealth and healing each other right and left, and it's really, really sick. I agree with you on the Teebo lead, although I did Relic 7 my scout because I'm crazy, and his basic removes turn meter, so Poplo removes turn meter, Teebo removes turn meter, and I used this one as a cleanup squad. In fact, I just used it to clean up both General Grievous and B2. I took out the third person, but it was a Relic 7 General Grievous, and I went in there just like, yep, no turn meter, no turn meter, no turn meter, I win. So this one, that's my preferred, but Nissa really mixes things up, and I don't have a great answer otherwise. I think that this is a very, very, very flexible group of characters, so I'll let you know as I evolve my thinking. Hey, I'm struggling to find that Zeta upgrade pack you talked about. Well, it's actually just called the Zeta upgrade pack, and yeah, it rotates in and out of the store. So it's 1,300 crystals. There is a 5% chance, I believe that's what that says. I can't see it on my big screen. But yeah, I think it's 5% chance to get some Omicrons. Otherwise, you mostly get the Omegas and between 4 and 10 Zetas. Is it worth 1,300 crystals? Probably not, especially for a late gamer. Absolutely not. Probably not for even a mid gamer. But in the beginning of the game, if you have the disposable crystals and you are struggling to get Omicrons and struggling to get Zetas, I think it's not a bad deal. I have bought this 3 or 4 times over the last couple years. It can be really nice. I mean, if you roll like the 45% chance there to get 6 Zetas and is that 6 Omicrons, that's really, really nice. That's a big boost. So basically you have a 50% chance to get 4 and 3, which is, okay, whatever. I mean, that's 4 or 5 days of gameplay to get those same resources for a younger account, maybe more. But you have a 50% chance of getting the other 2, the mid or high one. And that's like 1,300 crystals to save you a week and a half to 2 weeks for an early gamer. So yeah, I think early game, this is pretty good. not for everyone, of course. Okay, moving on. I started an alt, and I'm trying to follow my crazy profundity rebel rogue farming guide, closing in on the Radis. Any advice to get past the Cairo Wall? So this is, this does not matter what phase of the game you're in until the very end, I think, or late. Kairos are just a problem. They are the old Carbanti. If you were around a couple years ago, you could just substitute the word Kairotech for Carbanti. Like, they really fixed that bottleneck and then created another one. But fortunately, there are a lot of places you can farm these. Obviously, light side, dark side. Dark side 8A will give you the computers. 7B light side will give you the shock prods. There's a $5 pack that comes up. I think it's every Thursday or Wednesday in the store. That gives you 25 of each. I ain't gonna lie, on my main account, I've probably bought this 10 or 15 times over the last couple years. I mean, $5 here and there. That's just like choosing to forgo a coffee, which is really, really hard for me to do, but I can do it, no problem. Assault battles, it doesn't matter which one. All of the assault battles, there are 6 of them. They're every month. There are 10 of each, the shock prods and the battle computers, whatever they are. So there's you 60 of each every month. So I would prioritize making sure you have a team for each of those assault battles. And then, of course, in the store, you can buy them with Guild Mark II 3 currencies. You get that from your your guild event, territory battles. That's a good place to get them. And of course, you can buy them with crystals. Do not use your raid tokens on them. The conversion rate is just horrific. Don't do that. So screenshot this if you want. There are probably other ways to get them in the game, but this is pretty much exclusively where I get them. I am just waiting on GLA right now, and I'm not upgrading any characters. So I've been farming these for a couple of months, and I'm sitting on almost 600 of each, so I'm super stoked. But that goes away real fast. That's like literally 1 or 2 characters in the modern world that we live in with Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, so farm away. Okay, next up. For modding Radis teams, do you need to have any speed at all on the tank, or can you just slap speed on Radis, Jyn, and Cassian? So I started a full Radis squad modding guide a while back because it occurred to me, in particular, people are modding K2 completely wrong. They were modding him as if Admiral Radis wasn't there. You see, the thing is, Admiral Radis, I don't remember all the terms at this moment, but like Spark of the Rebellion and his leadership and stuff basically gives your team like a 60 or 80% bonus tenacity and some other stuff. And everyone had all tenacity mods on K2, and I was like, that's just wasted. You really just want survivability and stuff. So I did some very, very detailed modding guides for Cassian K2 Jyn, and I stopped. I really want to go back and finish this out someday. And long story to answer your question is K2 does not need speed because K2 is going to counterattack religiously. Even it's conditional on whether he's buffed or not, but even when he's debuffed, he still has like a 50% roughly chance of counterattacking. So that's pretty good. And then he's going to taunt anyway, which is his job, to taunt. That's it, just to taunt. He's going to taunt. Trust me, he's going to taunt. Now, Pathfinder does want some speed because I think that his taunt is not auto, and I think you need to use his special to initiate the taunt. So you do want Pathfinder taking turns so that he can taunt, gain a buff of any buff, doesn't matter, but he can give himself buffs so that when he dies he auto revives. But Jyn, you're asking about tanks, right? No, you don't need speed on K2. Yes, you want it on Pathfinder. That's my opinion. Hey, next question is really personal, actually. Why do I call myself the Gerbil? So this one's hard to answer. When I was really young, I used to have pet gerbils. I don't know how many I had over the years, but I had a few. My first 2 were just pure white and pure black, and I love those little critters. Had them for a while. I was very young, like 6, 7, 8 years old, maybe 8. And my brother started calling me Gerbil as a joke. There were some more words involved. But it eventually just became kind of a term of endearment, I guess. And all the way up through college and beyond, when I would, run into him or we'd have family at my parents or something, he'd just be like, hey, what's up, Gerbil? and it just stuck. It became, like I said, a term of affection. And then a few years ago, we lost him. It was unexpected. It happened very, very quickly, and I just miss him. So when I started making YouTube channels or videos, I decided to use that name as my kind of online gaming persona, because it reminds me of him, and it just makes me feel like he's kind of here with me. So there you go. That's why I call myself Gerbil. Moving on, Wolfpack 104. I haven't been naming people. Man, everyone, thank you for these questions, even if they are a challenge. This person is saying, I know there's been speculation, but NCG has implied that Drogon R2 will be with Leia. Crumb or somebody on a live stream also said that the other two are going to be Kanan Jarrus and Old Ben, and I think that's just ridiculous. I think it's misinformation. I think it's a deliberate misdirection. And if it's not, then I'm just flabbergasted. And I'm going to give a spoiler here. If you don't want a spoiler from the Rebels TV show or something, jump ahead about a minute and a half. But Kanan Jarrus was dead by the time of Endor, and this is an Endor Leia, and Drogon is an Endor character, and R2 was clearly at Endor. Old Ben was dead at the time of the Battle of Endor. Both of them were dead, and in multiple instances, the rebels were in significant trouble on the ground, and if the ground forces lost, then the space force, the fleet lost, and Akbar and Lando would have been killed. The Ewoks saved their butt, and Endor Leia is almost synonymous with Wicket. So if we don't get a Wicket-specific call-out, then I will be furious beyond measure. But I really think that the remaining two characters are going to be probably Paploo and Wicket. Why? It says that Leia's a tank, but you don't want her getting hit. She doesn't taunt, so you need a taunting tank. So, I mean, that makes sense for Kanan and Old Ben, right? But no, I don't think so. I think Paploo makes sense. I think Wicket makes sense. They have to go together. I think Wicket and Drogon are your attackers. Paploo gets a taunt stealth benefit, as does R2, and then Wicket can assist with that, so we'll see how it goes. People are saying they're not going to put out much damage. Well, Drogon puts out a lot of damage, and we haven't seen Leia's kit. I think it's going to specifically call out Wicket by name in the kit, and if not, there will be some kind of Ewoks gain Rebels tag, or Rebels and Ewok tags are interchangeable when you read their kits. Don't know, probably wrong. Confirmation bias, yo. Only a few more questions left here. Can Nissa Omi beat Phasma in Territory War? Now, I haven't done that, but I think if they are similarly relic leveled, and they have, if you have properly modded your Ewoks, which I bet you haven't, no offense, I'm telling you, I bet you haven't, then I'm going to go ahead and say yes, confirmation bias again. But Nissa Omicron is beating Grievous Droidica Omicron. It is hanging on it. It is hanging very well against Pogglekron, but I haven't got the win there yet. But I think that it's eluding me, and I'm certain I will find it. Point is, it is a fantastically powerful team in Territory Wars with the Nissacron, and I do think that in gameplay it would be superior to Phasma with the TIE Pilot Cron, whatever. Or no, it's no, that's GAC. Phasmacron. Yeah, I think it would be Phasmacron, but again, I think you need to have comparable relic levels, and you need to have proper modding, which means no protection primaries at all. Come on, people, go through your roster, look at your Ewoks. I bet you got protection across the board. You don't want protection at all, none. Get rid of it, strip it off. Hey, this one's fun. Who else would I give a solo Omicron to? So, like, think Wampa or Fulcrum. My very first thought was Jedi Knight Luke. His kit is good, but it's a bit dated, and it's just like, we can do better. And I just immediately harkened back in my mind to the Mandalorian episode where he takes out like 16 or 20 Death Trooper or Dark Troopers on his own. And then I think about how in lore he goes off by himself to reestablish the Jedi Temple and all the adventures he had to go on to find people and all the other things. And in Return of the Jedi, he sets off by himself to confront Darth Vader. He has no wingman, no support. He doesn't even fight in the battle. He just turns himself in to go confront Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine. I mean, where else could a solo Omicron go? Well, actually, a lot of places, right? I mean, Darth Vader was very much a solo actor in all of the series. Reva had no patience to work with other people. Asajj was an assassin who worked mostly on her own. I think any of the Inquisitors could be candidates for that, as they all went across the galaxy hunting Jedi on their own. And of course, Maul was a loner. Don't mean that to be mean, but not a loner. He wasn't a loner. He was a rogue. Maul was 100% a rogue. So I think these would be like my top picks for a solo cron, like a Wampa style. And I wish we had more of them, because I think they're very, very fun to do. All right, if you use Akbar and Leia Omicrons both, and I do, don't you want to make R2 assist if he's on the team all the time and mod him for potency? No, you actually don't want to mod him for a lot of potency, because the stun on his basic has an 80% chance of applying. So first, you have to pass the 80% threshold, which means 1 in 5 guaranteed is not going to stun, no matter how much potency you have on him. Then you have to do the potency check versus tenacity, and then there's a resistance check or something. I don't know how that works. So it's potency is very good for him. I think more to apply burning and to help the stun, but it's not going to guarantee the stun. So what do you want, really? I would keep in mind that he's going to share with Akbar and Leia or any Rebel team 10% of his max health, his protection, his offense, and his potency. So I think generally modding him for everything of the above, like spreading out all that stuff on R2 on this 3-person squad, is more benefit, so that you get more health and more offense over to them. Personally, I would go the offense route if I were to remod him today, so that he shares more offense with Princess Leia, because she can hit for a lot, actually. Okay, I think we got like 3 more. Here we go. This one comes from Astra. Do you think rushing a Relic 5 Sith Triumvirate with Savage and Talon with those 2 Omicrons is somewhat a valid strategy for accounts under 1 million GP? No. Sorry, hands down, no. That is a fantastic squad in the right conditions. It will not do anything to a lot of other squads. Yeah, you're gonna get a lot of GAC holds with that under 1 million GP, but that could be said for a lot of different squads. Under 1 million GP, Omicrons, first off, are really, really hard to come by unless you're just going to open wallet, which is fine. That's your choice, but I wouldn't do that. And then secondly, I think that when you're under 1 million GP, there are way, way, way more effective squads, because you need to start getting some assault battle rewards. So think Imperial Troopers, CLS, bounty hunters. I think that early game you need to have a fleet strategy, and Executor seems to be like the route to go. You get your bounty hunters, you put them with Tarkin until you get the Zeta thing unlocked, then you just dive into Executor, or you go my route and you go like Mon Mothma, Rogue One, CLS, assault battles heading towards Profundity. A lot of people will tell you Geos, and Geos are super, super good early game. They're fast and easy to farm, low gear. They get you the Tarkin Executor, Zeta, Executrix, Zeta event. But then in Territory Wars, your guild will love you if you put the Omicron on Poggle. But the Sith Triumvirate, they're great. Talon, Savage on that team is wonderful. But it's also a dead end. It doesn't lead to any other event in the game. It doesn't help you with any GLs, really. Talon will help you with Starkiller, but that's it. The Sith Triumvirate Savage don't take you anywhere, so I would not do that. But hey, you play the game for you. Seriously, if that is what you enjoy and you love those characters, you're passionate about it, rock on. Just be aware that it's going to be a much, much slower farm to get anything after that, because they're not going to take you much places. Any advice on ship credits? Not really. Ship credits are hard to find. You can get them with some Cantina energy, but I guess the best places is the weekly event that happens 3 days in the fleet part of the store, and then guild credits. You can buy them with the most abundant resource when they pop up. Do not spend crystals on them. Please don't do that. Do you think it's worth stealing 5s and Rex from Gas or C-Rex? I think it's too early to tell. In 3v3, it's too early to tell. Personally, I'm putting Hera, Rex, Chopper on defense. I do have the Rexicon, but look at these GAC holds. I have held out twice against Jedi Master Luke, Yoda, Imperial Troopers. There have been others. I'm not putting him with clones. I'm bucking the trend. I go the road less traveled, and I am super happy with my results. So I think it's too early to tell. People haven't had enough opportunity to practice counters. We'll see. In a month or two, we'll know a lot more, but right now, not entirely sure. Last question, if you're still with me, folks, from Swain. I think that's how I say it. Asking me about whether, where can Ewoks be used in an assault battle? They are used in the ground war assault battle. Ewoks or Jedi versus Separatists. Jedi are going to be more effective, honestly. Ewoks will easily get you up to, maybe through Challenge Tier 1. But they're grindy. If you want to know a lot more about assault battles, teams, recommendations, check out SWGOH for Life by Bit Dynasty. Fantastic resource, amazing YouTube content creator. You can also check out like SWGOH events and other places to learn more about assault battles. There are 7 of them overall, and I do recommend you get a team up and running to get you at least through the Omicron, well, I would say Challenge Tier 1 on all of them. So, hey, there you go, folks. 31 minutes long video. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, you know what to do. Click the button, please. I will see you later. Bye-bye.